Malo Soifua, it's me, Fala, and welcome to FOFŌGΑ, a virtual Fala with your hostess, the Moses Fala Esther, and it's episode 6. And I'm out here on the Fanua, my hair is down. What? And the theme for this show is Healing Talanoaga Report, staying home, safe, and present. And just the mission for this space is a sacred healing space to voice and face everything underneath the moon, sun, stars, and beyond. And a vision is a service for number one and for all. And before we begin, we always want to begin with a protocol with opening ceremony. So I'd like to begin with a traditional territories tatalo and speak from the heart. And I want to praise the Lakhtamish, the Lami, the Nuksak, and many other Coast Salish people for whose land that we are on, that I am currently on. And I want to say thank you for this beautiful, bountiful place. Thank you for keeping this land as the caregivers and the survivors of the flood. I want to ask for forgiveness for being on your lands without proper protocol, introduction, and gifting. And I ask that I offer any of my time and my resources whenever requested, because I'm just so grateful to be on your ancestral territories, and due to the 1855 Point Elliott Treaty, and just so grateful to be here. And that's my traditional territories, Tatalo, and I want to say Haishka Siam, Whawhetai Telalava, to the Lami whose lands that I'm on. And part of the offering, part of the territories Tatalo, part of the opening ceremony is offering a song, poem, and good words, etc. And I have a quote here that we shared earlier with the Healing Talanoaga. And the quote is, "Building community is to the collective as spiritual practice is to the individual. Building community is to the collective as spiritual practice is to the individual." And I got that from my Bible, the Emergent Strategy from Adrienne Marie Brown. I believe that was a quote from Grace Lee Bogg. So thank you so much. I dedicate this song to my Auntie Lily, who has passed on. Sla'u Lupe Hualele. La'ulupe Hualele Leva Mahao Talofa He La upele iwa meiloa. Tangange ohatene o o na solo mai ho mata e tilo e tele ho sawai. Love you, Auntie. Out of the lineage, and want to offer that I had learned this way of protocol and opening ceremony from my Samoan upbringing and from many other indigenous people and folks who have been displaced. And I also learned it from my work with the Lummi Peacemaking Circle leadership team, who I learned from my soul sister and friend Shasta Kano Martin, tribal Lummi tribal member, and she had brought Peacemaking Circle here to Lummi Nation 10 years ago, and she had learned from Sarum Fong, who's from Boston, Massachusetts, now living in Seattle, and is of Khmer heritage, and he had learned it with this work with the Tagish Tlingit First Nations in the Yukon Territory, who are Mark Wedge, Harold Gattensby, Barry Stewart, and Kay Pranis. So I always want to honored my teachers, and our teachers had shared this, that if you want to do this type of work and healing, to honor the lineage. So I always want to honor the lineage of where I learned this from. So Papatai, Talava Lavios. And the intentions for this space is to honor protocol, healing, speaking, sacred space, and celebrate all souls, and share nuggets of knowledge, tools, and stories of healing. So, yes, I'm so excited for that. And so, welcome to FOFŌGΑ. Oh my God, my hair is my welcome to FOFŌGΑ. And I'm still learning what FOFŌGΑ, for folks who don't know, means like healing speaker. I was asking my mom, and she was sharing Fofong Fit to Lie, which is a person who is a speaker and respectfully speaks to elders and into the community. So I just want to honor that. And so it's where FOFŌGΑ comes from. It's like healing, and Va, which means the space between me and you, the Va, the sacred space of all space. And so, yeah, welcome. Yes, the mission is a sacred healing space to voice and face everything underneath the moon, sun, stars, and beyond. And a vision is a service for number one and for all. And the theme of this podcast is the Healing Talanoaga Report, and staying home, safe and present. And before I dive in, I just want to do introductions and checking in. So, folks who don't know me, I am Fia La Wia Esther Pula Timis Celia Titi La Mostele, and I'm over here in Custer, Washington, USA, on the traditional territories of Lummi Nation and Nooksack and many other Coast Salish people. And lived in Bellingham all my life, but from Tacoma, I was born there, and also Tacoma, Washington, and raised a little bit in Boise, Idaho. And those are the lands of the Puyallup and Shoshone, Bangkok. And from Samoa, where my mom and my dad are from. And so that's where I am. But I lived all my life here in the United States, here on Turtle Island, as many folks refer to as. And I'm just coming in. I'm a little tired. Today was a good day. The Healing Talanoaga went well. It was really short. My internet went out, and I couldn't get back on until like another hour. So I apologize for any folks who are trying to come in. And I'll share more about what the Healing Talanoaga, but it went really well. And kind of feel a little so-so. Just found a relative passed away today, and it just sucks. Death doesn't suck, but like just the rate of souls, just so many people passing away. It just hurts. It just really hurts. So I just want to pass love to to my Tele, my big family, and to all the families who are having hard times right now. So I just want to say I love you, and I'm sending love. And just how I'm doing okay. I'm trying to have healthy boundaries and not take things personally, and give people space and give myself space, needing space. So it's been a trip. It's been a really big trip. And I'm out here now on the Fanua, on the land, and I'm just so happy to be under this tree. See this beautiful tree? What? Just here hanging out with the fam. And I'm just like really happy. I have a fire going on, so I have to probably pause this. But that's just how I'm doing. I'm a little cold right now, but I'm gonna pause this and go back inside and show you all where the fire is. And just, I'm doing better now that I'm here doing some forest bathing and just here in the forest, and not scared at all. Even though it's about to be sundown pretty soon. I just feel really home here. But that's just how I'm doing. I'm doing so. And that's just how I'm doing. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you back in a little bit. See you back inside. Here's a coffee for you all. I was told that looking into the fire cleanses the soul. That was the fire. Thank you for letting me share that with you all. And so this next part, we're going to be talking about the Healing Talanoaga report. And just so every week I'm going to be sharing just practicing oral tradition every week, sharing what's going on. We were talking about the Healing Talanoaga report. Let's talk about past themes that was talked about, and just weaving all the Talanoagas together. And so for folks who don't know what Healing Talanoaga Wednesdays, what the Healing Talanoaga report is related to, the Healing Talanoaga Wednesdays that just happened today, and was happening from every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And it was written really well, and really well. And a little bit of history about it is that started back in May for Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and it was meant to be a one-time event, and me and Dr. and Auntie Betsy Hasagawa, we hosted that first one, and there was just this need for consistent healing spaces and more healing spaces. So I offered Healing Talanoaga Wednesdays as just another space and another resource for our community, not just our Pacific Islander community, Pacifica, but for all communities who are in need of healing, especially in this time. And for folks who don't know, Healing Talanoaga, it's a space dedicated to protocol, checking in and talking story. And we have talked, so there's been 10 so far. So today was the 10th Healing Talanoaga Wednesday, and it went really, really well. It went super good. Each one, as we do in, like, we talk about peacemaking circle, it's a fire. We talk about peacemaking circle. Like, there's no such thing as a bad circle, and there's no such thing as a Healing Talanoaga. It was so good. Each one is so good and precious, and gets better with time. And today, yeah, we shared, I shared a song, Shade Away from Electric Fields. Love them. And we opened up with the traditional territory Satalo, offering protocol. I think about my Auntie Sina all the time about, each village in Samoa has a protocol. And I believe we're always on someone's village. And so that's why I apply that to the world. Each place in the world. We're always on Indigenous Peoples Day. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. And shared song and quote, and I shared that quote earlier. And today, we were just doing introductions. We have an open space after we do our protocol. We open up the space for anything. There's no agenda, except for protocol. That's the only agenda that we have. And introductions and checking in. How are you really doing? And just want to thank everybody who has, that's how we always open up the space. And in the past, we've talked about what is healing to you. How have these elections have been in the United States or in New Zealand and Samoa? We talked about taboo topics like sexual child abuse. We talked about sexual assault. We talked about, we talk about topics that are really hard to talk about. Talk about cancer. Talking about literacy. We talked about, like, not being financial literacy, political literacy. Talked about everything. So virtual Fala, for a lot of folks who don't know, I apologize for not explaining that. Virtual Fala, where everything happens on the Falas. Great important conversations, and healing is an important conversation. It's needed all the time. And other topics that we have talked about is grief and loss. We talked about how are we navigating through everything through this time, with COVID, with climate emergency, with racial emergency, with economic emergency, with so many pandemics. We talk about suicide prevention. We talk about everything. Talk about our dreams. That's what we talked about last week. Our dreams and grief and letting go. We talked about boundaries. We talk about everything, and we talk about histories. We talk about language, Indigenous. Huge topic is Indigenous sovereignty, and honoring land and water, and so we talk about everything. So really still talk about language revitalization, how to, we talk about trauma. We also talk stories. So we also BS a lot. We also, well, not just BS. We do. But just. And so I just really want to appreciate, and like today, I just want to share little highlights that I didn't get to share with everybody because of the internet going out, but this is what I was sharing. And I always want to keep it confidential. I don't want to share people's names or where people are at, but I would love to not share specific people's stories, but share the wisdom that I learned from people. And like we were talking about missing people and music, and we talk about missing shows, live shows where we got gathered together, and community learning to say, and I'm gonna say thank you, connecting with strangers and holding spaces for young people and working on ourselves, and minds in chaos and overwhelmed and want to hide face in pain, but we can't hide those physical pain. Cleaning room, and it's hard to be on Zoom celebrating, but still celebrating for folks. and try not to, talk about cheating on yourself or spirit and deep down, and feeling free and happy, rejuvenating self, applying for scholarships and grants, and can't avoid deadlines, and writing again, and had to be, how do you be yourself in academia? And important questions was, who am I? What drives me? What makes me happy? What makes you happy? Who am I? And folks talk about, no need for introduction, that we already knew each other. Our souls already knew each other. And missing sweaty strangers. Is that your BO or mine? Laughing out loud, LOL. And I apologize. We had to end early because of just due to connections. And the next Healing Talanoaga is going to be next Wednesday, January 6th, 2021. What? And so the Healing Talanoaga has been so precious and so important, and I'm really stoked about it. And I have some other, and so checking out now, last announcements, and checking out, check out my blog. It's, if you type in Google, I'll be honest, type in Google Adventure Learning Grant, FIA, and also I'll post it over here, a link to the blog here, and just trying to share what's going on, but also being okay that I'm going at the speed that I am. And I'm just excited. And last announcement, so yeah, I'm going to be posting 2 podcasts a week for FOFŌGΑ, and we'll be holding Healing Talanoagas every Wednesday. And that's just it for now. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. And just as we opened it, we're going to close it. And so I have a Psalm 1 proverb from one of my amazing teachers. I've taken like 3 language classes, so I want to give shout out to all of them. And one of the proverbs that I learned was, apologize for any mispronunciation, but learning. E ui ina tele timunga, ele mangalo ai le sami. E ui ina tele timunga, ele mangalo ai le sami. No matter how much it rains, the sea will always be salty. Thank you. Thank you so much. And here for you all. We're here together. And if you need to cry, cry. If you need to rage, rage. If you need to be sad, be sad. It's okay. Just be your emotions and know that just ride this wave. Ride the wave. All right? I love you. And we got this. Okay? You're not alone. I'm not alone. Well, technically right now, but you know what I mean. And I love you. And tofa soifua for now. I love you dearly. Alofa atu. I'll see you later. Wow.